I didn't realize you called me. Sorry about that. Yeah? Okay. You started? Okay. I can't find out a drive, I'm going to go with you. I can't find out a PowerPoint, so I gotta go with you out it. Okay, good. I missed the PowerPoint. Mr. PowerPoint.
That I will achieve, because I do the things I should.
Live?
To my brethren, kind and good.
Can we go now?
So I'll keep moving on.
Thank you.
I won't stop now. I'll keep.
Oh yes, my Straight Talk family, we will keep moving on. And we won't stop now, my Straight Talk family. I want to say welcome to another edition of Straight Talk for Monday. It's the 3rd day of July. It's a new month on the calendar. I'll tell you much more about it. It's spelled D-R-E-W-L-I-E, July. That's the new month on the Straight Talk calendar. And it is time for me to say good night, St. Kitts and Nevis. Good night to the entire Caribbean region, and to my Straight Talk family in the Kittitian and Nevisian diaspora. I say greetings to all who are logged on to my social media pages, YouTube and Facebook. Straight Talk with Ian Patches Liburd. Many of you I know are in Africa. Many of you are in Europe. There's a whole lot of you over there in Asia, and quite a lot of you as well in North America. A whole bunch of Kittitians and Nevisians all over the world. So I say greetings and welcome to another edition of Straight Talk. And for those of you who may have joined me for the first time, Straight Talk, I must tell you, is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interests, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express ourselves freely. Let's in the process really strive to get St. Kitts and Nevis back to that, what I call, enviable position of being one of the freest countries in the entire universe, or the freest country in the entire world. On Straight Talk, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And in particular, for the first timers, we can inform you that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we entertain your calls, or we include your calls. We also include your emails. And if you're so minded to call, the numbers are 869-663-6672. That's a local number. And our US number is 646-829-6672 as well, my Straight Dog family. And there are those of you, many of you, like the cloak of anonymity. So we give you access via our email platform. And the address is straighttalkpatches@gmail.com. That's STRAIGHTTALKPATCHES@gmail.com. And you may have recognized there's some of you who use the cloak of anonymity, or rather abuse the cloak of anonymity. And I am not going to really allow it, because if you feel you can just hide behind the cloak and say or write as you like, about people. No, Straight Talk would never facilitate that. So just be truthful, just be clean, and we'll all have a wonderful time here on Straight Talk. Tonight, I have titled my dissertation, my short dissertation, I have titled my Straight Talk family, the first two inductees into the political hall of shame. Yes, we have our first two inductees into the political hall of shame. Yes, it's going to be very interesting, my Straight Talk family. Because, you see, my Straight Talk family, we have, in recent times, it has become extremely important. It has become extremely important because that we have to put in place what we call, or we have put in place, I should say, what we call a Straight Talk Hall of Shame, which is a place where those in power and authority are exposed for unethical and offensive behavior. Lawbreaking or transgressions are often hidden from the public eye, as those in power seem to enjoy abusing their position, often by exploiting the most vulnerable members in our society. So we thought that the Hall of Shame will highlight the disgraceful behavior of some of those in authority who are influential, by the way, in society, especially our policymakers. But the ultimate objective of the hall is to promote public pressure on such people so that they may amend their behavior, and it will also be a deterrent to others. There are significant national issues that need to be addressed, such as the cost of living, unemployment, the minimum wage for those employed. We've heard about the universal health care or national health care, access for all. And of course, we are concerned and we promote the restoration of all human rights, including the right to fair and equitable justice in this our country, St. Kitts and Nevis, irrespective of your political persuasion or your political allegiance. When we recognize that since the 5th of August, my Straight Talk family, the country has changed for the worse, then we need a hall of shame. But before we get to much more detail, we normally look at our observations in review for those who are always with us. And it's a time when we reflect on things that have passed, a time when we look at questions we may have raised, and we try to establish whether it has derived any benefits for all of us. And my Straight Talk family, our observation, my first observation in review, I must apologize a little bit because I have in my hustle to prepare for the program, I seem to have lost my what they call my PowerPoint presentations, so I can provide you the evidence, because there has been an ongoing debate since the passing of our fourth Governor General, S.W. Tapley Seaton, under a week ago. So Tapley we have learned by now, was the youngest and I believe the longest serving Attorney General in St. Kitts and Nevis. But the debate surrounds the flying of flags at half-mast. And Straight Talk can confirm that flags on government buildings are all being flown at full mast, except to note that there are no flags at the police headquarters. I found it very strange. Perhaps this institution is out of stock, or Commissioner Sutton may have given instructions not to fly a flag. But I would never believe it's the latter. I believe somebody maybe overlooked flying the flag today. Also, the flag at a government house is not at full mast. I looked at it. I do have a picture of it. I can't show you due to some little technical difficulty I have here, but take my word. I'll show you on Thursday if you so inclined. Neither is it at half mast. But the issue, my Straight Talk family, is straightforward. Flags are flown at half mast as a symbol of respect, mourning, distress, or salute to someone. And the Prime Minister, as head of government, can order flags to be flown at half-mast following the death of a notable figure like Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton. It can also be done as a result of the death of a government member or former member of government, or in recognition of those who have given their lives for the nation. However, Dr. Drew should not be expected, and I repeat that, Dr. Drew should not be expected to fly or to issue any proclamation for this gesture, to fly flags at half-mast on government properties following the death of our fourth Governor General. And you may ask me why. And I'm always a stickler for the truth, and I will repeat it. Dr. Drew should not be expected to facilitate such a gesture following the death of Sir Tapley. And I have come to that conclusion because Dr. Drew showed no respect and or recognition to Sir Tapley when he was alive. How on earth do we expect Dr. Drew to show such respect and or recognition now he's dead? Because the very first meeting, having been sworn in as Prime Minister of this country, and the very first question or conversation he had with the late Sir Tapley was to move him out of government house. My Straight Talk family, let me replay that for you.
Relates to the Governor General. Questions were raised, have been raised on social media as to the former Governor General. Was he asked to resign, or did he resign on his own? Can you comment on that?
Well, if you go back and you see how Sir Edmund was treated, Sir Edmund Lawrence, the disrespect with which he was treated, basically kicked out of the place, had no privileges after he left. He was not even included in an official protocol list. And when I went to visit the former Governor General, Sir Tapley, he and I had a discussion, and I asked him, how do you want to leave the office? He gave me a timeline. I respected the timeline. And so he said to me he wanted his time would be up to the end of December, because he wanted to put things in place and so forth. I said, fine. And I went back to see him again, and he said, PM, I need some more time. I said, no problem. And I gave him until the end of January.
So, notwithstanding that treatment dished out to this distinguished son of our soil, Sir Tapley demitted office, I would say, with his trademark integrity, his trademark dignity, and, though not exhaustive, his trademark humility. When he said this, my Straight Dog family.
I take this opportunity to express sincere in the discharge of my duties. These include my administrative staff, gardeners, and other support staff at Government House, who have served diligently, enabling me to perform my duties. This has been a fulfilling experience, coming as it does after having served for 15 years as the first Attorney General of an independent St. Christopher and Nevis. I'm also grateful to the persons who have assisted me in the journey, including my family, medical professionals, and the security services, and all who have been very supportive of my efforts to build on the structure of Government House and its surroundings, to ensure access to the People's House, and to facilitate all activities of the Office of the Governor General.
So yes, my Straight Dog family, I ask you forgiveness for not being able to post my PowerPoint with the flags, but time has run me down, and I ask you to take my word, but I'll post them for you come Thursday if you so instruct. But you see why it's an issue with the flags being flown at full mast at a time like this, when respect should be shown to a distinguished son of the soil. But may the soul of Sir Tapley Weymouth Seaton, beg your pardon, rest in eternal peace. My Straight Talk family, my second observation refers to Saturday, 1st July, after 27 homicides in just under 11 months, just about 11 months in the life of the Jew Labour administration. And graduation to the top 10 most dangerous countries in the world. Believe it or not, my Straight Dog family.
The most dangerous places to travel to for 2023, and this is based on Statista.com. Coming in at number 9, and I would never imagine this island to be number 9 for murder rates, but it's St. Kitts and Nevis.
And my Straight Talk family, after such graduation, on Saturday last, the 1st of July, remember we're saying Drew, D-R-E-W-L-I-E, that's the new name of the month, Straight Talk name of the month, July. The administration officially announced a new program called Elevate, which, according to them, has effectively revamped the Alternative Lifestyle Pathways Program, commonly referred to as the Peace Program, which we understand will be launched in or the middle of July. Recall, my Straight Dog family, that the original program was introduced in 2019 under the Team Unity administration. And this is an brief account of that introduction of the program.
The strategy involved started on the 13th of March 2019, and it's commonly referred to, as you know, as the Peace Initiative. We started, first of all, with approximately 70 persons involved, and that quickly blossomed over time to some 800 persons today. We offer quite a number of opportunities for the at-risk group. Project development, business opportunities, they can access loans. A lot of them are into apprenticeships at this particular moment in time. They are the normal work routines, learning trades, and for obviously educational opportunities and the like. Persons who have been on for some time and who have accessed these opportunities have now started to move off the program to take up or to spend more time in the actual business venture that they have adopted. And that is always a good sign, as it makes way for anybody else who might be interested in coming onto the program or who merits coming onto that particular program.
And my Straight Talk family, you must have taken note by now, because you are an astute people, that we haven't heard from Major General Saunders since the change of government. We understand his contract expires this month, July. And you realize there's a press conference relating to the peace program, and the National Security Advisor was not present. But according to Miss Naima Hazel, who has been elevated to the position of Permanent Secretary in the office of the Prime Minister, according to Miss Hazel, there were 740 persons on the program when the government took office. But after registration, or re-registration, that should be, between December, 2022 and March 2023, now over 600 persons are registered, according to Naima Hazel. She said this.
We determined that it was important to develop a formal profile of the participants. So we began a formal registration process in December, which completed in March. And during that, we were able to limit the amount of participants to a little over 600 persons. Some 740 participants had been on the program full time, and they received a stipend for being on the program, but there were some persons that were on the program who indicated that they did not wish to be re-registered. So we were able to bring the number of participants in the OUT program down about 400 to 500 persons.
You know, my Straight Dog family, maths has always been my strongest weak point. So I am struggling to establish the numbers down by 400 to 500. If she said that there are over 600 persons in the program as we speak, And I don't know why they give us all these numbers, over 600. What is over 600? 690? 601? Give us the exact figures. But if your maths is better than mine, you tell me how could the program or the numbers be down by 400 to 500, which seems to suggest it would be 200 or 100 and something persons in the program. But really though, my Stray Dog family, there is absolutely nothing to suggest any real change to the original program, except to note that Dr. Drew is not a proponent of the concept that government is continuous. So in addition to its new name, Elevate, we learned he has recruited his father-in-law and my friend. I'm sure you'll hear much more about that in due course, before the middle of the month. But he has recruited his father-in-law, my former bandmate, as the new National Security Advisor. He has also recruited a Mr. Hazel, an American, as an advisor to the Commissioner of Police, James Sutton. But Straight Talk will follow up on these new and other developments, inclusive of the Poverty Alleviation Program as well, my Straight Talk family. By Thursday, we'll have much more information on that as well. And my third observation, my Straight Dog family continues to demand, or we continue to focus on transparency and accountability in respect of our CBI program. But it's going on to 11 months. In a few days, it will be exactly 11 months in 2 days' time of the Drew Labour administration. And none of the above are forthcoming. No transparency, no accountability. Earlier in his term, recall that Dr. Drew traveled to the Middle East with a view towards strengthening the program for its longevity, according to him. And for your guidance, my Stray Dog family, most of our CBI business is done in China and Russia. However, the international marketing agents are really found are from the Middle East, hence the reason why Dr. Drew made that trip to the Middle East. He didn't say exactly where he went to in the Middle East, but he said this, my Straight Dog family.
We are now thinking of a trip to strengthen our CBI program. As you know, our CBI program is fundamentally leveled in that part of the world. And as I've said, we have promised, and as an administration, that we will do what is necessary to strengthen the program for its longevity and make sure we do everything that is necessary. And part of that is to travel there and to alert what we are doing in terms of strengthening the program, so that those who are involved can be aware. And so that is the next trip that is being thought of, and I would say the initial stages of the planning process has started. But once confirmed, as usual, we will update our nationals here in St. Kitts and Nevis as to what our plans are.
Promise, update the nationals in St. Kitts and Nevis. But talk about longevity. And in the Middle East, it's wide. Bahrain, Egypt, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates. Where did he go in the Middle East? Did he go to Palestine? But if Drew plans to strengthen the program and to strengthen the CBI, as he said, this could only mean more economic citizens deriving from the increased sale of passports. Straight Talk has confirmed that Prime Minister Drew has signed over 3,000 CBI applications, mainly for the prison project since assuming office. What is the disposition of that project, we ask? He cannot, he has not, and will not deny that fact. But he continues to deny the people of this federation the right to freedom of information. Another one of his many campaign promises he has failed to deliver in 11 months. Is this information classified? as a state secret that Dr. Drew continues to hide it. My Straight Dog family, we now have Labour and Dr. Drew, who has stubbornly refused to give the country the information, and that is wrong. It was supposed to be a new day, and Drew promised a better way. But I will thus remind Dr. Drew, and all of us ought to be reminded as well, that citizens are the base of democracy. For that reason, it is important to know the breakdown of the different nationalities that have acquired passports under our CBI program. How many Chinese? How many Russians, Nigerians, Iranians, and how many Libyans? Yes, Libyans. We all need to know how many applications you have signed, Dr. Drew, since assuming the office of Prime Minister. All we need to get is a breakdown of every nationality of the 30,000 or 30,000 persons, if that's accurate, that have acquired passports under our citizenship by investment program. 30,000 of the 55,000 people who live in the islands, St. Kitts and Nevis, are out there. Those are my observations and review for tonight, my Straight Dog family. As we embark on my thesis for tonight, as I intimated earlier, is titled The First Two Inductees into the Political Hall of Shame. And as mentioned and bears repeating, that the Straight Talk Hall of Shame is a place where those in power are exposed for unethical and offensive, abhorrent behavior, I can say. Law-breaking or transgressions of the law are often concealed, are often hidden from the public eye, as those in power have this propensity to abuse their position, often by exploiting, preying upon the most vulnerable members in our society. So my Straight Dog family, the Hall of Shame will highlight the disgraceful behavior of those in authority who are influential in society, especially the policy makers. And as I mentioned earlier as well, there are significant national issues that need to be addressed. The cost of living, the minimum wage, unemployment, our national health care, our universal health care access for all, the restoration of our human rights, the right to fair and equitable justice in St. Kitts and Nevis, irrespective of political persuasion or allegiance, must be respected. But when we recognize that since the 5th of August 2022, almost 11 months ago, St. Kitts and Nevis has changed for the worse. Thus, if it takes a hall of shame to raise the pertinent issues within society of the shameful acts perpetrated by those in position to bring about changes, then that is the way it is going to be. And like a well-known activist put it, we will change the change until we get the change we need. My Straight Dog family, I like this, quite frankly, when I heard it first.
I think it is more practical to keep changing our vote until we get the change we want. We shouldn't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. The fact saying that you change until you get the change you want. I think it is more practical to keep changing our vote until we get the change we want. We shouldn't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. The fact saying that you change until you get the change you want.
Yes. My Straight Dog family, some of you may recall that Several months ago, I made mention of a very uncomfortable moment for the young minds of our country who attended or listened to excerpts from the second annual Youth Forum of the St. Kitts National Youth Parliament Association's CNIPA. And they witnessed what seemed like vomit from Senator and Attorney General Garth Wilkin. He did not literally vomit, I'm told, but appeared to have lost control of his bowels, which obviously affected his brain. At the said forum, the focus was on leadership under the theme, A New Era, Breaking the Barrier, Reimagining Youth Leaders, which was held on Wednesday, the 21st of September, 2022. A moment of great disappointment engulfed the forum during the question and answer period, as it seemed as if the Attorney General started puking as though it was caused by a sudden viral infection in his stomach or some other gastrointestinal problem, which seemed to have been a reaction to something he may have eaten. And remember, the gastrointestinal system is intimately connected. Accusations by the then newly appointed Attorney General Garth Wilkin concerning impropriety or corruptive practices, left more questions than answers regarding the role and functions of this very important office. Also, the honor, obligation, and values of the individuals who are appointed to this job. My straight dog family. Because there is an old saying which goes like this, and I quote, "He who comes to justice must come to her with clean hands." This old saying is just a reminder to every accuser or the one making the allegations that he or she should ensure that he or she is clean from such unpardonable and unethical behavior. There is an automatic frown of disapproval in St. Kitts and Nevis when some people parade as paragons of virtue, yet they have so many skeletons in their closet. And a perfect example can be found in the current Attorney General, Garth Wilkin, who is also the Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs. Who would have believed that after threatening to embarrass citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, Garth Wilkin, by his very own actions, embarrassed himself and the office of the Attorney General? Who would believe that, my straight dog family?
I think it's time we need to draw a line in the sand, and we need to make sure that we have a better country moving forward. I'm not afraid of anybody, and I'm saying that straight up. I'm not scared of anybody. I was hired to do a job, and I'm going to do that job. So some people should be shaking in their boots right now.
Yes, like in most common law jurisdictions, here in St. Kitts and Nevis, the Attorney General is the chief or main legal advisor to the government. As chief legal advisor, our Attorney General is expected to serve as counselor to the federal government agencies and the Parliament, also to represent the best public interests. But how can he, when he broke the law? And everybody knows, every single Tut Mun Bagay and Sam knows that the Attorney General broke the laws of this country. So how can he uphold them, my straight dog family, is the question.
I have a problem with the Attorney General. what Patches is saying is true. The Attorney General did not pay Social Security for the lady, a poor lady who came here to make a living. You turn around, you pay it up when you're going to come the Attorney General. And once you come the Attorney General, you stop again. And then when the CBI money is going to be paid, you pay it up. That tells me he's not going to continue to pay. He's not going to pay. He's going to keep lapsing. And I can't help but ask if it's because of who he is. Because I have seen lists of business places and persons in the papers that didn't pay Social Security and they were taken to court. Now we have our Attorney General doing the same thing. People should read the judgment from that matter. I cannot accept this, honestly. How is he then going? You're breaking the law, but you're saying you're going to embarrass people for breaking the law? Something isn't rubbing me right there. But the fact that the man paid it up and lapsed again and paid it up now to when? And then what's going to happen after? This is a poor lady and it was poured one of his tires on his Jeep. Why is she not? Suppose the lady got sick, there's nothing there for her. And people got to look at this.
And my Stray Dog family, he broke the law before he became the president of the St. Kitts Nevis Bar Association. He paid his arrears the day after he was elected to that position. 12 months passed by, and the day before he was appointed or selected as the Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs, he then ran to the Social Security Department and paid his 12 months arrears by the Stray Dog family. And if you think that was bad, my Stray Dog family, months after he became Attorney General, he refused to pay one more time. He refused to pay contributions on behalf of his nanny. And my Stray Dog family, we cannot and we must not forget that a High Court justice or justice of the High Court or High Court judge, whichever we prefer to say or to use, my Stray Dog family, Justice Tamara Gill, was very clear as it relates to the law, and she wrote in her judgment, a social security payment after the time prescribed by the legislation constitutes a criminal offense whether or not the law is strictly enforced. And my Stray Dog family, the defenses of justification and fair comment, she wrote as well, are raised. The justification defense likely to succeed on certain aspects of Nanny-Gate in particular. That social security contributions were paid late by Mr. Wilkin, constituting breaches liable to prosecution. That's what the judge says. And they tried to avoid posting this decision on the OECS website, portal, as it's called, I believe, and succeeded for several months. But when you go to that portal, my Stray Dog family, read it, and I'm sure you will concur that this man, Garth Wilkin, is not worthy to be called Attorney General in this country. And he has not even apologized. But when you listen to the utterances of this public figure, who comes across as being zealous and quite capable of acting without the constraint of the law when he wishes to do so. He went on a public rant, remember, about procurement, my straight dog family.
Procurement Act has been breached left, right, and center. I've seen one contract, no procurement. The contracts that I spoke about in my press release, no procurement. People need to know these things because it's their money. The treasury is not my money, it's not your money, it's everybody who pays taxes. So we are custodians of the people's money, so we have to protect it.
Yes, my straight dog family. The problem we should all have is the fact that the Attorney General continues to deploy privileged material or information to support his rantings, or as someone put it, his pomposity. But the AG must know, as he claimed that he is a litigator, then he must know that he should take cautious approach. And I'm not a lawyer, but common sense tells me that the court will require disclosure of any further privilege or confidential material that he's using to bolster his public reckless accusations. He's gone quiet for a while, but please don't take your eye off him, my straight dog family. He's picking parts of the confidential information he found in his office, and he released it into the court of public opinion. This I find egregious, unpardonable, and outrageous, my straight dog family. My straight dog family, since coming to the office in August, can the AG confirm, can he give the public assurance that all goods and services that have been tendered in accordance with the procurement legislation? No. The AG must educate the masses properly and stop cherry-picking the rule of law. It seems like a logical fallacy when the AG only focuses on evidence that supports the political stance he has taken in the past and will take in the future, and ignores evidence which contradicts it. My straight dog family, he must be engaged in cherry picking as he continues to cite a small number of contracts out of no doubt the thousands of contracts for goods and services which were signed on behalf of the government of the day. The Attorney General sits in the cabinet with the Deputy Prime Minister, Jeffrey Hanley, who, while he managed PEP, over $2 million of the people's money was spent with his nephew's business in Florida. Over $2 million. Was there procurement for the over $2 million spent with Jeffrey's nephew in Florida? My straight dog family, I can speak of files that would reflect that up to February 2015, a certain law firm had a retainer contract for years with the AG's office for $30,000 per month. The said law firm was engaged to provide legal services by a particular statutory corporation. Was there a procurement tender for these legal services? As a public officer, it must be improper to cherry pick the rule of law. My straight dog family, what was cited about the Attorney General Garth Wilkin is not exhaustive, but the committee has unanimously nominated Attorney General Garth Wilkin, who is also the Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs, as the first inductee into the political hall of shame. My straight dog family, without hesitation, the second inductee is Dr. Terence Michael Drew. And in the process, may I remind you that this month has been renamed after him, and from here on referred to as July, D-R-E-W-L-I-E, July. Today is the 3rd of July. The committee concluded today that Dr. Drew seems to think that he has a moral duty to lie to protect his position of or as Prime Minister, my straight dog family. It seems that he has a moral duty, it seems, for him to protect his position as Prime Minister, my straight dog family. He lied about the prison project. Do you remember this?
The prison project alone is providing $2 billion poverty, but that's a whole nother big scandal by itself. Over $2 billion. That is a crime. It is a crime that the government is committing. That is a crime. Somebody needs to be brought to the court for that. It is not right that something like that should happen.
It was a crime. According to him, somebody should be brought to the court. But it was a crime until he got into office and some money coming in. He saw money coming and he just suddenly determined it cannot be switched. My straight dog family.
We understand with the CBI program, you just can't switch to anything else.
My straight dog family, he spoke about investors. Where are these investors after 11 months in office? My straight dog family. Shy of 2 days from 11 months in office. He spoke about investors.
It's quite interesting that after the elections to invest in St. Kitts and Nevis. And they said, why you didn't do it then? And they said they couldn't do it under the last administration. They wanted to work with an administration that they think would be a more prudent administration.
Did they give reasons for that?
Yeah, I think that they felt like they were under duress in certain circumstances.
My straight dog family.
Frank. And they think that there might
the lie, though,
too much corruption in the system.
Of his short.
And many of them stayed away as a result.
The lie of his short stint, my straight dog family. The lie of his short stint thus far as Prime Minister concerns the health of our people and the promised dialysis machine or new dialysis machines, the lie of the year thus far.
I've also procured new dialysis machines because at the hospital we needed new dialysis machines. As you know, when we got there, we thought that there was not enough. As a medical doctor, I know that. And so we have procured. And so when they come in, I'll give the names and so forth of those who would have sourced them for us and so forth. The dialysis machines.
But then, he was caught lying, my straight dog family. He was caught lying by this reporter.
Mr. Prime Minister, some weeks ago, the JNF Hospital received some, dialysis machines. I think it's about 15 of them, I believe. And then there has been some talk in the community that there's something wrong with these machines, that parts are missing and...
Community of fake pages.
Whatever you want to call it. But the thing is, it's out there. Could you address that particular issue? What is the state of these machines? How soon will they be put into operation?
And he was caught lying. And Dr. Drew doubled down on his lie when asked this other question, my straight dog family. He doubled down.
I listened to on a talk show there some time ago there where a former minister was saying that the the dialysis machine that were brought here is over 20-something years old. Could you please give the citizen of Thinking the surety that the dialysis machine is good and safe?
With respect to the dialysis machines, I really want to laugh. I really want to laugh. It's amazing that we are bringing improved services for health, and an ex-minister will be on some radio station spewing lies and deceit so that people might lose confidence in what we have. That is very, very sad. There are some things you should talk about as a politician or past politician. A politician who has expired in politics, whose time in politics has expired. Talk about things that make sense. How can you hit dialysis machine? As I speak today, we are now putting a team to come from Canada to do training of our people here. Talk about things that make sense. Talking about dialysis machine for 20 years and all these things. Really? That is what you're spending time talking about?
But quite frankly, my Stray Dog family, I'm sure you will agree that most responses, if not all responses coming from the Prime Minister, are no responses and don't make any sense whatsoever, and so on and so forth, he will normally say. But listen quite closely, and you will also conclude that Dr. Terence Michael Drew gave no surety to this resident. All he did was laugh. And obviously not satisfied with Dr. Drew's response, the same caller posed the same question to the special advisor to the Minister of Health and asked this, my Stray Dog family.
Dr. Martin, what I want to ask you is this, knowing that you're supposed to there is some advisor in terms of the health system. Now, I heard that we have some dialysis machine comes into Sinkit. As a man in the field for a number of years, what would you say to the people of Sinkit concerning the dialysis machine? Would you say to them that it is a good machine or not? Because the talk on the street is that 20-something year old and not good. So what is your take on that?
Fear mongering. No, sorry. On the dialysis machines story, it's a fear mongering. Use machines, using donated machines that is done all over the world. There's absolutely nothing to fear about it. Our people know how to keep them clean, sterilized. Ignore the noise.
He did not provide any response as well to the good gentleman. But recall, this is the same man as Chief Medical Officer who said the Bastia High School was safe. He said this to the then minister.
The Chief Medical Officer, after having worked with a number of agencies within the government and private sector individuals, people like Dr. Whitaker, to have done all the testing and so on after all the rebuilding, we were able to get a report from the Chief Medical Officer that says that the Bastia High School is safe. There are no issues as what were revealed from the Cairo report of December 2012. So I am pretty sure that that report is a valid one.
And that's the assurance he got from the then CMO. Because the CMO said this, my Stray Dog family. He said this back then about the Bastia High School. Would you believe it or not?
Essentially, there's nothing unusual and nothing unexpected taking place at the Bastia High School.
But you see, my Stray Dog family, if St. Kitts Nevis was in a desperate state of affairs and needed dialysis machines at any cost, then there would be no argument. And we would agree with that former CMO. We would just accept the old machines, try our best to get them sterilized, and hope for the best. It's like the old adage, the old saying, any port for a storm would have applied if we were in a desperate state of affairs. But my Straight Dog family, we as an independent nation have however progressed far beyond that with healthcare under just 7 years of the Team Unity administration. The Team Unity administration purchased 5 brand new AK-98 dialysis machines last year that are all up and running, and I have confirmed that. What was needed therefore was the purchase of 3 more AK-98 machines to bring us up to the full capacity of the dialysis unit, which is 8 machines, until a decision is made to expand the current dialysis unit. Someone called my program last week and claimed to be related to one of the donors, a brother to the donor, and confirmed that Canada upgraded from AK-96 to AK-98, and it is 15 of the AK-96 machines that Canada was replacing that were donated under the disguise that they were new. There are advisors at our health institution who have rightly advised, I'm informed, that these machines are not to be used. Why don't they install them? Any advisor to the Ministry of Health who has the best interest of the people of the Federation at heart will not put a discussion about the safety of these 20-year-old dialysis machines that were put out to pasture by Canada down to fear-mongering, but a genuine concern for the health of the vulnerable who seek dialysis care at our health institution. No advice from this doctor who is singing for his supper can save Dr. Drew from this embarrassment. The decision, therefore, is unanimous, and Prime Minister Dr. Terence Michael Drew and Attorney General Garth Wilkin are the first 2 inductees in the political hall of shame. That's my story for tonight, and I'm not going to change it. I will open the lines, my Straight Dog family, and entertain your calls and your emails. But before I do so, and I'll do so in a few seconds, I always like to implore you to respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. Let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us ensure, my Straight Dog family, in the things we say and do, that they will be beneficial to all concerned. And in saying and doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis, my Straight Dog family. Again, the numbers are 663-6672 and or 646-829-6672. Our email address is straighttalkpatches@gmail.com. And the emails have all built up, so let me try and dispose of some of them at first, my Straight Dog family. This one reads, I will have no respect for you, Mark Brantley, for you have no respect for yourself. And more importantly, for the Honorable ex-Prime Minister, Dr. Harris. In Parliament and at your press conferences like the one this afternoon, instead of answering the relevant questions, you diverged to a tirade of abuse of Harris for your silly mistakes of governance. After all, you commended the same Harris for best treatment you and Nevis have ever enjoyed. And because you did not get your wishes to turn and twist Harris, you staged a palace coup and dismantled team unity. One thing I blame Harris for is, after he dismissed you, he should have ordered your arrest for conspiracy, attempting to overthrow his government, which is a treasonable offense. But you get away with it, you hypocrite. One day, you will surely be caught. Reads that email. Very interesting observation, my Street Dog family. A happy CARICOM day to you in advance. We are about to say farewell to our former Governor General Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton with this email. I feel ashamed that our Prime Minister, as busy as he is, could not find it necessary to address the nation. Just issued a press release. If my memory serves me well, all right, on the announcement of the death of a head of state, the flags are flown at half-mast on the direction of the Prime Minister for a specified period. And then on the day of the funeral, I guess this is who we are. Rest in peace, Sir Tapley reads this other email. Mark Brantley really showing no respect, or really showing up, beg your pardon, the Prime Minister Drew, and telling him, beg your pardon, in no uncertain terms, that you are the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and I am the Premier of Nevis. Therefore, any public announcement to be made, I was not waiting on you to announce the passing of the former Governor General. Yes, it was your duty to do so, but the people of Nevis will not wait on you for any stale news. So I went ahead and made the announcement before you. Reads this other email. I have quite a lot of emails, so I'll concentrate on them, my sweetheart family. Divisions are asking the Prime Minister to come over and have a town hall meeting with them, since he is their Prime Minister as well. But Brantley said, not as long as he is Premier. Drew dare not put his foot in Nevis to keep any town hall meeting. If you want to see how barley grow, let him come. I done tell him already to keep out of Nevis politics. So who is really in charge of the Federation, Drew or Brantley? Mighty, this is comical, reads this email. Let's go to the lines, my Straight Dog family, at 9:14. Caller, you're live.
Hold up, my beloved African brother. Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially Queen Nzinga and King Garvey. How are you, my beloved? How the family? How are Leah, Miga, and Owari?
Peaceful, my brother. In spite of all the missteps.
The madness.
Yes, but we are pretty okay. What about you?
All right. Okay, beloved. Beloved, first let me just say happy birthday to CARICOM in advance tomorrow. 50 years. CARICOM is a great idea. But the problem is those administration that they had over the 50 years, 98% of them wasted time. They just have this big party every July, and then when they go back to their respective countries, they don't carry out what they signed for. That's the problem. We need a pan-Caribbean within CARICOM, and everything will go fine in a brother. But if you don't have visionary, the two leaders right now, Dr. Harris is not on the scene. He's not a Pan-Africanist, but he was a good man, a good brother. And he did some good things, some great things for Leah, Miga, and Owari the 7 years he was there. But the administration, they did some good things, but we all know what happened. Right now, it's just two leaders brother. That Sister Mia Motley in Barbados, Pan-Africanist to the bone, and she advocates for African people, not just in the Caribbean, globally. And that brother, the brother in Mitchell in Grenada, he's not fully there yet, but he moving along that road. The others, bunch of jokers. The clown show, the clown, the Mickey Mouse administration that they have in Liamiga nobody is a shame and a disgrace. Brother, shame and a disgrace. You got to do better, man. You want to tell me that boy, the mulatto boy, all the madness he's doing, that guy from Monkey Hill. Well, you see, the light cannot, the blind cannot lead the blind, you know, beloved. Cannot lead the blind. So that's the problem, but I blame the people. Come on. Where's the consciousness, the African consciousness in our people, especially our young people? Especially in our young people. Come on, we need that. Young people stand up for what is right and just. Are you afraid? Sometimes, beloved, you got to lose your job in order for the country to go right and make them do right. And anybody who's going to come in the future, they won't go down that nonsensical road. They will care about the people while the people put pressure on them because they don't think it's Liamiga and what it don't belongs to none of them. It belongs to all of us African people, beloved. Our ancestors shed blood, sweat, and tears and paid the ultimate prices for centuries. And that land is ours. And no one gonna come and deprive us, beloved. Don't care who you are. You could be black like midnight or white like snow or yellow like what a yellow daddy. Nobody. Us. But us, we're gonna control. People need to stand up, demonstrate where there's wrong, wickedness, evil. Got to demonstrate against that. And I hope in the next election, I see election, ain't gonna go to no 5 years, you know, brother, because the kind of madness that is going on in Liamiga, no worry. But they're gonna have to call a snap election. So I hope the PLP, they stand the best chance. Palm, I don't know, man. Palm is just, but there is a shame and a disgrace to see what Palm has become. After was this great party by the great Dr. William Herbert, Elder K, Dr. Simmons. Dr. Simmons now has started to take a different route. I don't know. But things just got to get better, brother. And people in, African people in Liamiga, nobody must ensure that we have go down that road and we have a governmental administration who love our people, who care about financially poor people, first and foremost, and make sure they rise economically, educationally, and otherwise. Brother, thanks again for hearing me. Keep up the great works. And in closing, happy Earth Strong to carry come 50 years, beloved. But we need great visionary and who love people and Pan-African thinkers, beloved. Brother, thanks again for hearing me. Keep up the great work. Pan-Africanism our perish. One love, my beloved brother.
Yes, one love as well. My brother, I just got some sad news. I hope it's accurate. I really should have gone. I really had committed. I should have called his daughter yesterday, but I'll make sure I verify the news before I make mention of it. Of the passing of one of my brothers from another mother. But my Straight Talk family, it's 9:23. You may have joined me late, but we introduce what we call a political hall of shame on Straight Talk. And we do have our first two inductees. And they seem to be quite obvious, these inductees. The first, Garth Wilkin, and the other, Terence Drew. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Good night.
Good night, my dear.
Good night.
Good night, my dear. How art thou?
How was your weekend?
Very restful. I was
trying to call you today, but you had to beat the light.
You were trying
Remember when you come up the bed?
Oh, today? Yes,
remember you come up the bay?
Yes, I drove the bay yesterday, but I didn't hear you, my dear. Yes, I did. I did drive up alongside the.
I was trying to call you, but you had to beat the light.
Oh, the light. Okay, the traffic light. Okay, I understand you. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No, Mr. Liburd, the flag story start out yet?
No, it has not been sorted out.
Huh?
It has not been sorted out.
People talking, the them should have known better and don't follow them. And they will go to the show. They will go to the funeral just to show themselves. Shame on them. Then they will know who was. The other one, the other big and bad in the house don't have any manners for Timothy. No, he was there before them and come from the same labor, was doing better than them. They will ever be. 10 men in one tell him that he's supposed to be the prime minister. Think his father leaves, think it's for him. Timothy 1 is not the fault. They know it's only the government, the cheating government, why only he one, they blame him. The word is wait, and if he did not do what they wanted to do, they should have never followed who set them up and vexed with him now. Look the trios together to get back a comeback.
Thank you very much for your intervention, my Straight Talk family. And I just got the sad news of the passing of a brother, a fellow musician, and I really want to extend condolences to the family of Mick Stokes, who we understood passed away. I really had promised, someone insisted I go and see him on Sunday, and I did not yesterday. I was so tired, and I did not call the family, but my Straight Talk family, sad to hear the news, but for Sister Sensia, Pam, and the entire family of Mick, we extend condolences. Just what I expected to happen, reads this email. When they passed the marijuana law, or laws, is happening. The young men are smoking ganja like crazy and causing numerous traffic accidents while they gracefully blow the inevitable smoke in the faces of innocent people, reads that other email. And this other email reads, my Straight Dog family, trying to dispose of my emails. When I heard Mark say he's paying tribute to Sir Tapley in such a pitiful and somber voice, I said, well, what manner of man is he? Only a few months ago, Mark cursed and abused Sir Tapley, saying he don't understand the Constitution, all because he did not get his way to topple Prime Minister Harris in a palace coup. Now today, in his tribute, hypocritical Mark is praising Sir Tapley highly for his contribution to the Federation. it would have been better for you, Mark, if you had remained silent and keep your tasteless rhetoric to yourself. Reads this email. And if you just join me, my Straight Talk family, at 26 past the 9 o'clock hour, we have introduced our thesis tonight, which is titled First Two Inductees in the Political Hall of Shame. And as a Straight Talk family, we decided to introduce what, as I said, we call a political hall of shame. Simply because, my Straight Talk family, there is great disappointment. And people needed a place where those in power can be exposed for unethical or offensive behavior. But let's go to the lines and take this call, and we get right back to that. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Dr. Ian Patches Liburd.
Your humble servant. Just call me servant, my brother.
Okay, Patches.
Yes, Mr. Culture.
That little piece of information there, that there cut my spirit for the night. So, excuse me if I sound down, eh?
Yes, it cut mine as well.
Yeah, cut it, man. Oh, that must be. We have to go. But Patches, I want to say this here. He's falling down, down, down. Joe is falling down. That good for nothing lying old Taliban is falling down. He criticized the passport selling, but now he's doing the same damn thing. And as the Russians call him, he gone selling like a tornado wind. No, Patches, brother, I want to say this. Today, I spoke on a different program. I informed the people, that Mr. Bradshaw passed away in 1978. And when he passed away, Mr. Southwell, who took over, right away he went on the radio the same day. And he announced he addressed the nation, let them know that Mr. Bradshaw has passed on. And all flags and government buildings must be flown at half-mast. And so said, was done. So I said that to show them the difference between this Monkey Hill boy named July. He has no respect for himself and the people in the country of St. Kitts and Nevis. The amount of lies that man they tell before he get into to Parliament and since he get in there. Now you hear what he said earlier o'clock, that the treatment that was dished down to the governor before, Mr. Seaton. And so he went to Mr. Seaton, Governor Seaton, to ask him when he decided to leave. And he wanted him to leave December. And he said the governor come back and call him and tell him, give him some more time. And then he put a time on the governor when the governor must go. He tell the governor by the end of January. So you see what here happened to the man there, Drew? All he got in him is vengeance and tit for tat. Now the governor, Governor Tapley Seaton, General, he hasn't done anything. Not a soul could say they ever hear him politically on any comment he has to make publicly. None. Whether he was a member of PAM, PLP, Labour, NRP, or CCM, or what, nobody ever heard him with any politics. He spoke like a Governor General should. And a lot of people respected him, even more since he became a Governor General. And then now this man here who believed he could turn with everybody because they're not saying Labour with him. That is the disrespect to put on the Governor General. Well, I don't expect anything better from him, but at least he should expect the highest office of the land, because he get in there in politics, in the government, in the government, in the wrong way. The wrong way. He cheat the election, and he know it, and so therefore he's not worthy to be called a prime minister for me and all who have a clean heart and a clear conscience. He's not worthy to be called that way. Look at his attorney general. Look what he did. And for a whole year, he refused to pay the nanny Social Security. And only a day before, just before he sworn in as Governor General, he went to pay. And then he make a pause between you, since he get the post as Attorney General. Make a pause, and then he went back to pay again 3 times. What example is he showing? And he come on talking about people not friendly with the treasury and all them kind of thing there. And he come there to do a job, and he gonna do his job. He ain't doing a job. He ain't doing a job. This man showing a bad example. No wonder you got so many crime around the place, because people looking at him. People must lead from the front and a good example, and then you will get a good result and example from those below you. But if you lead in the wrong way and your worthless way, what do we expect? No wonder so much crime happening, and it's a curse. It's a curse because St. Kitts has been sacrificed by he and his superior, Joe. That is why so many accidents happening, all kind of foot breaking off and motorcycle and a put up on bus and all kind of thing. Because the sacrificial offer what they have to do to St. Kitts for them to survive. That is, I'm sorry to say, brother, but my spirit has broken down. My spirit has broken down. Yes. Anyway, my condolences to his family and everybody who are associated to him. But that is, if I feel stronger, I'll call back.
Thank you, my brother. Yes.
Thank you.
All our spirits are broken down now. We just heard of the untimely passing of Michael Mick Stokes. And I want to convey condolences to his daughter and his Madam Pam and his entire family, my Street Dog family. It's extremely painful for me in that I really intended to go and see him yesterday. As someone told me on Saturday night that he was down and insisted that I should go and see him. And I did not take heed, so you know how that would have gutted me, my Street Dog family. But death is a process, as we all know, and we are all face that eventuality, and we all must appear before the judgment seat of Christ one day and maybe recompensed for the things that we have done. But this hall of shame, I was saying, my Street Dog family, will highlight the disgraceful behavior of those people in authority who are influential in society, especially policymakers. The ultimate objective of the hall is to promote public pressure on such people so that they will see it fit to try to amend their bad ways, to amend their behavior, and to as well serve as a deterrent to others, my Street Dog family. The first inductee Garth Wilkin. It's obvious. It was unanimous in the Straight Dog family. So too, the second inductee, Terence Michael Drew. I overheard today that Drew is a clone. And I believe, no wonder, the man acts like a clone. I want you guys to take a very good look at his videos where he displays his clone behaviors. Is that the same Drew who states he will be looking after those who work in the private sector? Drew, where is the support you spoke about during your campaign? The cost of living is on the rise weekly. But when people in the private sector get an increase, it's from mere cents to $1. We're working for the same rate since then, while everything else goes up, and still no help from the line clone Drew. Drew is cloning indeed, reads this email. This other email reads, my Straight Dog family. Hello, Patches. It is a mark of signal disrespect to the late Governor General that our Prime Minister has seen fit not to fly our flag at half-mast in honor of the Governor General's human service to our nation. Shame on the Prime Minister and his like-minded colleagues. My Straight Dog family reads this email. And this other email reads, so in other words, what people are saying about the machines is the truth. Because if we listen clearly, he never denied such reports of the said machines. These people need to write out their answers or practice in front of a mirror before going on any radio station. Yes, I agree they can fool a handful of people with their nonsense and somehow it makes sense to them, but not me. Just look where Drew the clone has us next to naught, nada, zero, reads this other email. Good evening, Mr. Liburd, reads this other email. Why am I blacklisted from seeing the Prime Minister? I was told by his office that I would see him when he gets back on the island. Sadly, that was last November 2022. I went to headquarters to find out what the issue was all this time, but again had to wait almost an hour as the security told me somebody was coming to see me shortly, which never happened. I am dumbfounded as to why Dr. Drew is avoiding me. Is it because he changed his tone after getting into government and now cannot face me after trying to 2 times for me? Drew and Labour Moscow reads this other email. And my Straight Dog family, we also mentioned tonight the change, as an observation, the change of or rebranding, it's called, of the peace program, as we say colloquially. And my Straight Dog family, it is rather strange that for several months we have heard of this rebranding of the program. And what was done that's different, we don't know. But what we know is that just Saturday at the press conference, after 27 homicides in just under 11 months, next couple of days, would be 11 months exactly, Wednesday. And the graduation to the top 10 most dangerous countries in the world. The Jew Labor Administration officially announced a quote-unquote new program called Elevate, which has, according to them, revamped the Alternative Lifestyle Pathways Program, commonly referred to as the Peace Program, that will be launched in mid-July. The mid-July, D-R-E-U-L-I-E, July. Recall, my Stray Dog family, as I mentioned earlier, that the original program was introduced in 2019. That program was introduced under the Team Unity Administration, and here is a synopsis of what in fact it generally entailed, my Stray Dog family. It generally entailed...
The strategy involved started on the 13th of March 2019, and it's commonly referred to, as you know, as the Peace Initiative. We started, first of all, with approximately 70 persons involved, and that quickly blossomed over time to some 800 persons today. We offer quite a number of opportunities for the at-risk group. Project development, business opportunities, they can access loans. A lot of them are into apprenticeships at this particular moment in time. They are the normal work routines, learning trades, and for obviously educational opportunities and the like. Persons who have been on for some time and who have accessed these opportunities have now started to move off the program to take up or to spend more time in the actual business venture that they have adopted. And that is always a good sign, as it makes way for anybody else who might be interested in coming onto the program or who merits coming onto that particular program.
My Stray Dog family, I want to thank this caller for holding. I go straight back to the lines.
Yes.
Hello, caller?
Yes, Patches. You ready for me again?
Yes, you're there. You're live.
Okay.
You're live.
I am speaking to people who are not living in St. Kitts, and some people who are living in St. Kitts but not aware of what went on and what is going on. Now, you know, Joe and his cabinet, they're full of lies. They want to tell people who do not live here to see what went down, that in the 7 years of Team Unity under the leadership of Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Sympathy Harris, that the sidewalk up Boardwalk was never done. Patches did that. Patches put a sidewalk up there. Patches installed the traffic lights. Patches fixed the island main road. Patches went around the island and Patches raised the road over Cairn Washgut from when the rain fall, that no vehicle could be washed over the gut. So you raise the road on one straight level and the water passes underneath. Patches did that. They said nothing was done. And then Team Unity built a community center in Atlas. They said nothing was done. Team Unity went down to Tabernacle and they built a new health center, name it after Nurse Janet, and a new police complex which housed the fire department too. All that was done on the Team Unity, and they said nothing was done in 7 years. Patches went down Black Rocks, and you fix up down there, and you put a viewing stand down Black Rock. They said nothing was done in 7 years. Patches went into Saddlers, and you increased the size of the water pipe. so that everybody in Saddlers now could get water at the wish and the will. They said nothing was done in 7 years. Go out to Sandy Point. Patches put up a new police station in Sandy Point, and he housed the fire station and many other government offices. They said nothing was done in 7 years. Patches did that. Come up to Bastille. Patches put down the new pier over there. They said nothing was done in 7 years. And the biggest, largest ship in the world now supposed to come soon to lean upon the pier. That they said nothing was done in 7 years. Patches put down the new bus terminal down on the West Line in 7 years. And then Patches went up Wellington Road and put down the East Line bus station. They said nothing was done in 7 years. So people, this government is made up of nothing but pure liars. Liars. Patches put down new houses on Wellington Road in the 7 years. Patches put down new houses up St. Peter's in the 7 years. This lying government with the leader, the biggest liar in the world, he tells him a lie that he make Dr. Douglas look like a pope. How he tell lie? They say nothing was done in 7 years. So I'm telling you all, we live here, we are like the ants on the ground. We know what's going on. So those who live above the clouds and you don't down on the ground, we're telling you how it is. Don't listen to them. They're telling a lot of lies. He said the country was in the red. But every week, they gone away from plane, gone away and the country in the red. Now it is time for everybody now to forget who will lose the job and come out on the street and show him that we ain't taking no nonsense from him no more. If Rosa Parks is afraid of anything, she would not have done what she did. And a lot of black people would not have had the privilege to go places where black people were restricted to go. All because Rosa Parks didn't care what happened to her. She can stand up for the rights of black people, especially. So I'm calling on all you who afraid. Don't be afraid of nothing. A lot of idols go church. And you know the 23rd Psalms. Well, if are you going to church to worship God, then are you afraid, man? Then why are you going to church for? You ain't supposed to afraid nobody. You're supposed to fear the danger that they can do and speak out against it and let them stop it. That's it. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you for your intervention, my Straight Dog family. And so cataloging the works of Team Unity. You wonder many times, you ask yourself, I mean, why, with all the physical evidence that's before us, why would they say that nothing was done by Team Unity in 7 years? But I believe it's just a distraction. They're trying to distract us that under the Drew Labour administration, nothing will be done in 5 years. Because 1 year would soon come. And time flies. Because just this coming Wednesday would be 11 months. And I believe it will be the first government, in my recollection, that has not delivered anything whatsoever in its first year in office. And you wonder if they'll do anything, period, except just to talk. Because Dr. Drew himself said that investors were waiting on this Labour Party. I did not say that. He was the one who said that investors were all lined up and waiting for this change in government. So we asked ourselves, where are these investors? Why have they not come forward to deliver? This is what Drew said since last year, September, a few weeks after
I have the number of them
into
have come
office.
forward, but also use as a means to help to develop our country. So we are looking at that, so they will have more, foreign investment that would help to stir the economy. But not only that, we are getting ready to set up our small business ministry as well, which will give people the opportunity to own their small businesses, and we'll be investing in that. And when people start their own businesses, we have to think about the creativity and innovativeness of our people. Those things will also contribute to stirring the economy. So, quite interesting that after the elections, a number of investors came forward. And they said, Dr. Drew, we had been waiting to invest in St. Kitts and Nevis. And they said, why you didn't do it then? And they said they couldn't do it under the last administration. They wanted to work with an administration that they think would be a more prudent administration.
Did they give reasons for that?
Yeah, I think that they felt like they were under duress in certain circumstances. To be frank. And they think that there might have been too much corruption in the system. And many of them stayed away as a result of that. But now a number of them have come forward. But we have also sought new opportunities, which we will also use as a means to help to develop our country. So we are looking at that, so they will have more, foreign investment that would help to stir the economy. But not only that, we are getting ready to set up our small business ministry as well, which will give people the opportunity to own their small businesses, and we'll be investing in that. And when people start their own businesses, we have to think about the creativity and innovativeness of our people. Those things will also contribute to stirring the economy.
So where are the investors? We ask the question, my Straight Dog family. And this is the lies that come from a prime minister. But my Straight Dog family, what seems to happen is that this leader, my Straight Dog family, has this propensity to lie. And without hesitation, the second inductee is Dr. Drew, who seemed to think that he has a moral duty to lie, to protect his position as Prime Minister. Look at how he lied about the prison project. In opposition, it was a crime until he got into office and saw money coming. It could no longer be switched. Investors, where are these investors after 11 months? Dr. Drew. But the lie of his short stint thus far as Prime Minister concerns the health of our people. When he promised to provide 15 new dialysis machines. Why he made that promise, everybody is asking that question. He said he procured new machines. Why did he tell a lie? My Straight Dog family, why? We asked the question. Why would he tell such a blatant lie like this?
I've also procured new dialysis machines because at the hospital we needed new dialysis machines. As you know, when we got there, we thought that there was not enough. As a medical doctor, I know that. And so we have procured. And so when they come in, I'll give the names and so forth of those who would have sourced them for us and so forth. The dialysis machines.
But he got caught. The thing about it, when he gets caught, he doubles down on his lies. He got caught, my Straight Dog family.
Some weeks ago, the JNF Hospital received some dialysis machines. I think it's about 15 of them, I believe. And then there has been some talk in the community that there's something wrong with these machines, that parts are missing and
Community of fake pages.
or fake pages, whatever you want to call it. But the thing is, it's out there. Could you address that particular issue? What is the state of these machines? How soon will they be put into operation?
And my Straight Talk family, he doubled down on this lie when asked this question.
I listened to on a talk show there some time ago there where a former minister was saying that the dialysis machine that were brought here is over 20-something years old. Could you please give the citizen of Thinking the surety that the dialysis machine is good and safe?
With respect to the dialysis machines, I really want to laugh. I really want to laugh. It's amazing that we are bringing improved services for health, and an ex-minister will be on some radio station spewing lies and deceit so that people might lose confidence in what we have. That is very, very sad. There are some things you should talk about as a politician or past politician, a politician who has expired in politics, whose time in politics has expired. Talk about things that make sense. How can you hit dialysis machine? As I speak today, we are now putting a team to come from Canada to do training of our people here. Talk about things that make sense. Talking about dialysis machine for 20 years and all these things. Really? That is what you're spending time talking about?
No surety given to the caller. One of his supporters, he laughed. At 2 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour, I'll dispose of these emails. My Straight Dog family Patches, for your next episode, can you find out exactly what exactly was the amount spent on Music Festival 2023? Why did the government spend over $2 million EC on one act when programs have been cut, roads are bad, crime is high, and poverty is up? Music Fest this year was lacking in marketing, buzz, interest, and production. It is unfortunate that politics always has a place. Damon Hobson was fired, but also the entire production, although it was majority Labour people from Newtown. I can say more, but that's it for now, reads this email. Culture, how could you forget the greatest of all Patches projects, the Old Road Bay project, reads this email. Yes, Old Road Bay will never be the same again, my Straight Dog family. But, you know, the caller that asked for some surety about this, I was not given the surety, was not satisfied with Drew's response, so he asks the same question, literally, to Drew's special advisor in the Ministry of Health. He asks this, my Straight Dog family.
Mr. Martin, what I want to ask you is this, knowing that you're supposed to be some advisor in terms of the health system. Now, I heard that we have some dialysis machine comes into sinking. As a man in the field for a number of years, what would you say to the people of Sinking concerning the dialysis machine? Would you say to them that it is a good machine or not? Because the talk on the street is that 20-something year old and not good. So what is your take on that?
Fear mongering. No, sorry. On the dialysis machines store, it's a fear mongering. Use machines, using donated machines that is done all over the world. There's absolutely nothing to fear about it. Our people know how to keep them clean, sterilized. Ignore the noise.
We don't need no 20-year-old machines. We're not a third world country. We are a high income country, our people boast. So we are not in a desperate state of affairs and needed dialysis machines at any cost. And that's what the CMO, or former CMO Martin, is saying. Nonsense. Nothing but nonsense. Caller, I'm going to give you 30 seconds because I'm out of time. Can you use it?
Yeah. I forget these two projects, so I called up to tell them. Two major projects. Old Road Bay and the many hundreds of houses roof that was fixed on the team Unity, and they said nothing was done. That is all I called back because I forget to say. So thank you very much, Patches. Have a good night and look over your shoulder.
Thank you very much as well. Thanks for the guidance. Okay. Thanks for the support. And thanks for all your interventions, my Straight Dog family. And that's the way we're going to end it tonight, my Straight Dog family. Because, as I was saying in closing, that former CMO and doctor who seemed to like to sing for his supper, I would ask the question to him, if he had a family member who needed dialysis or to be dialyzed, would he advise them to use the old AK-96 second-hand end-of-use machines or the new machines bought by Team Unity, the AK-98? When he comes back to the airwaves, you need to tell the country, or someone need to ask him that question, if he had a choice, which machines would he use? The AK-98, which are new, or the 20-year-old machines that were disposed of in Canada? Because, you see, we accept these old machines, and to talk about doing our best to get them sterilized and hope for the best. Nonsense. We have progressed far beyond that with healthcare in this country, especially under the Team Unity administration. The Team Unity administration purchased 5 brand new AK-98 dialysis machines last year that are all up and running. Why do we want to use machines that are 20 years old? And according to Drew, he said it, not me. He said it that he didn't ship them in the winter because he was feared that the substance in the structure would be frozen. Could you imagine that? A doctor saying that, and no one to change the narrative that he don't care about people's health. And Drew don't care about people's health. He cannot care about people's health if he went to procure these old machines. Old machines, 20-year-old machines. And that's why, my Street Dog family, what was needed was the purchase of 3 more AK-98 machines, and not machines that were recalled. The machine that came to St. Kitts were recalled by Canada Health. But, my Street Dog family, the advisors at our health institution, we know, have advised that these machines must not be used. We will wait to see when they will dump them at the Connery landfill, or they will sneak them or hide them in a room at the JN France hospital. My Straight Dog family, no advice from this doctor who is singing for his supper can save Dr. Drew from this embarrassment. And my Straight Dog family, the Attorney General, remember this about him as well.
If what Patches is saying is true, the Attorney General did not pay Social Security for the lady, a poor lady who came here to make a living. You turn around, you pay it up when you're going to come the Attorney General. And once you come the Attorney General, you stop again. And then when the CBI money is going to be paid, you pay it up. That tells me he's not going to continue to pay. He's not going to pay. He's going to keep lapsing. And I can't help but ask if it's because of who he is. Because I have seen lists of business places and persons in the papers that didn't pay Social Security and they were taken to court. Now we have our Attorney General doing the same thing. People should read the judgment from that matter. I cannot accept this, honestly. How is he then going? You're breaking the law, but you're saying you're going to embarrass people for breaking the law? Something isn't rubbing me right there. But the fact that the man paid it up and lapsed again and paid it up now to rent, and then what's going to happen after? This is a poor lady and he can afford one of the tires on his Jeep. Why is she not? Suppose the lady got sick, there's nothing there for her. And people got to look at this.
And yes, my Street Dog family, the decision was unanimous. Prime Minister Dr. Terence Michael Drew and Attorney General Garth Wilkin are the first two inductees into the political hall of shame. That's my story tonight, and I am not going to change it. I must, first of all, thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation today. Will the real dictators please stand up? Dr. Drew is stuck in an echo chamber, and this will make it very difficult for anything useful to or productive to come from him. He has fallen in love with his own voice and reasoning, and that's bad news for us as a country. God save us all. Read this email. Potential risk of exposure to toxic compounds when using certain hemodialysis machines manufactured by Fresenius Medical Care, and a letter to the care providers just provided to me. Yes, again, thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, and as always, I want to thank you, the listeners. I want to thank those who called, those who sent emails, and you who listen on Straight Talk and on social media, on YouTube and Facebook. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. I am Ian Patrick Liburd, and God's will, we will connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk. Until that time, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. And my Straight Talk family, remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Thursday. Keep moving on.
The morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother